Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game of the Max and part 14 of our Hearts of Iron for Kaiserreich, the Russian Empire. So, a very exciting episode 13. We have completely destroyed the Eastern, or the Ostfall, which is what it was called, which was we knocked out Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and now we are pretty much meeting up with the Commune of France here near Ulm, Stuttgart, Frankfurt, Hanover, Hamburg, Lübeck. We're going to be trying to defeat Germany this episode. And then, yeah, we're going to continue down our focus tree. Hopefully, maybe the Princely Federation will join us. I do want to kind of come over here and take over China at some point. I don't think this is going to be a world conquest, but it might be. I might make it a world conquest. That'd be kind of interesting. So, without a further ado, let's hop into it. And we're just blitzing through them. Some more aluminium. The Nanjing government. I guess Japan is... Yep, Japan's no longer fighting in Asia, and China by the looks of it. I mean Asia, China. The flying tank. Armies of the air for ground attack factor and air security missions. We got a land warfare facility in Prague, but I don't think I can recruit. I can, but I don't see the reason to just yet, because once we liberate Prague or give them back to our puppets, there'd be not a whole lot of reason to. Trying to pocket this. There's the fall of Munich. Straddling the banks of the Isar River north of the Bavarian Alps, the city of Munich is the seat of the Bavarian administration and is a center of art, science, architecture, and culture. Under the reign of Prince Regent Luitpold, the city saw an explosion of artistic and cultural activity. However, the city has come under siege in the recent conflict, and after an exhausting battle, the German forces have evacuated the city. Much of the city lies in ruins, with the Marian plots lying in rubble, and the domes of the Frauenkirche are heavily damaged as a result of the intense bombing. The last of the German resistance in the city heart at the new town hall has finally surrendered to the victorious Russian army. With the fall of Munich imminent, it would appear that the fall of southern Germany will soon come. The fall of Munich means that the southern Germany is ours. They broke our ciphers. I do have a spy captured right now, and we're trying to rescue them. Range or agility? That 15% range is very nice. More big bombers. Yes. Keep pushing my troopers. Someone did say that these were kind of useless, and I did not realize it, so... Oops. Got tanks over here. We stole self-propelled super heavy howitzer from the Germans. And there's the fall of Berlin. Reports from Berlin confirms the German city has been captured by advancing Russian troops. After a long, merciless fighting through the great city of the Reichspakt, German forces put up stiff resistance, hoping to delay the Russian forces for as long as possible, but were eventually beaten back. As shocked Berliners looked on, the Russian army paraded down the Brandenburg Gate before listening to a speech by Vladimir III in front of the famous monument. However, what eventually seems to have caught the attention and memory of the world is a picture of a Russian soldier proudly holding the Russian flag from the roof of a heavily damaged Reichstag, taken by one of his squad mates. It is all but over for the German Empire now. Latvia, I have a question. Ask control. Sirs. We'll take over being in charge of that region. I didn't even get to add those into my units. Yeah, so Hamburg is where we need to get to. And we got jet engine from them as well. Oh. This could be a lot of clicking. Hold on. Alright, the collapse of the Reichspakt. It appears the unthinkable has occurred today. German forces fighting in Europe have finally collapsed on the way to the invading armies. With nowhere left to run, the Kaiser and his cabinet have met and agreed that a complete surrender was imminent within days. The news has thrown their allies into complete disarray, with the structure offered by the Reichspakt alliance completely evaporating. It is clear that the world order, which has existed since the end of the First Weltkrieg, is about to come to a fiery end. The humiliation of Brest-Litovsk has been avenged. And we won it. There you go. First off, oh, it won't let me do just Germany yet. Okay. So, how much points do I have? 3,000. Delicious. You. All of Poland. Georgia. Lithuania. We're going to have to fight for the Netherlands. Well, I said we're going to have to fight for the Netherlands. We really didn't have to fight for the Netherlands. Oh, yeah. Give me any navy you all have left. Confirm and exit. Beautiful. 170,000 equipment has been seized. Ooh. Peace deal has been signed within the Empire of Japan and the Provisional Government of Germany. And the Dutch East Indies joins the Entente. I was trying to rush to get to the capital there so that we didn't get completely sideswiped. So, and the German Empire has capitulated. The only problem is they almost are on par with how many points I have, which I think is crazy. I'm gonna fight for about everything I can get. We'll just keep contesting all of the territory. My lord. We got everything but Alsace-Lorraine, which is a French holding anyway. Oh no, Luxembourg. I don't think I can fight for... Took that. Take all of their navy. Alright. Yeah, what an amazing peace deal for us. We lost Alsace-Lorraine, but that's okay. We got absolutely everything else. Yugoslavia didn't want anything. Romania didn't want anything. So let's confirm and exit. There we go. Survived the Second Weltkrieg. We took only 63,000 equipment from them. We took 39 states. See, Nick, that wasn't so hard as Russia defeat Germany and have all starting I didn't get to read it. And we stole proximity fuses. Does that mean one of us is researching proximity fuses? No, it just means we've got partially done. All right. Turn Romanian lands. Romania? What lands do I have of yours? I'm guessing these. We'll hold off on doing that. Now would be the time to really boost my production. We can build an improved... Or no, those are improved small. I think it looks horrible. We can finally trade with the Dutch East Indies. Everywhere is resistance to occupation. Shared instructors. Alright. So we do this, and I think I didn't get to ask, or I didn't get to see, because sadly I had done the episode faster than anything else. I kind of wanted to do this one, European policeman. Russia is not just a friend of many European nations, but an elder brother, one who watches over the little brother for their sake. In this aspect, we look after those threatened by the Reds, and we will go to any length to ensure that the socialist influence does not spread one more inch across Europe, paternalistic as it may seem. Or make no mistake, Russia will not bend to the socialists or the liberal infiltrators who legitimize communism through their works and actions. Russia has always stood as a bastion of conservatism, of tradition, and our battle with the faithless Reds is not over. The only thing I like about this one is you get justifiable war goal time minus 25%, which is, in my opinion, very strong. Elections will be organized in all of our European client states. We will have the option to make them more closely aligned with our ideology if we wish. But we can only do one or the other. I think this is probably it, the White Empire instead of the Foots of St. George. So I think we get all of these opened. Nope. You can only get these ones over here. And you can only get the pension system if you do European policeman. Yeah. So we got demobilization, reward the veterans, catch up with the West, and vanguards of the Elbe. Hmm. And we can do... Let's see. 17 days left. We'll do that, and we're going to come over here. Start doing this. We'll settle the post-war situation that imposing mutual guarantees on neutral countries and army limits. No, I'm not going to do that. Alright. The Tsardom's triumph on this day, 1 o'clock, 27th April 1943, one that will be known by future generations as Victory Day. The remaining German forces in Europe signed the official document of unconditional surrender, marking the end of the Great Patriotic War. The victory has decisively proven that German Minister Slovenich has always believed that past half century has seen profound political transformations in Russia, from the aristocratic empire to the socialist utopia Soviet Russia and the bourgeoisie's capitalist republic. All of them have failed, but now Russia has been set on its right and natural path back to the principles of old Muscovy, which have been tested by practice for at least 8 centuries. It was only under the People's Monarchist movement that Russia could reclaim its place as one of the world's greatest powers. Still, the Tsardom must look outwards. It cannot rest until the twin plagues of democraticism and communism are destroyed. A firm resolve now and in the future is necessary to ensure that that happens. A return to the traditions of old. Very nice. We have such a large military right now. Which I want you here. Not low on any equipment? Oh, absolutely not. Canada wants to put their boats in here. Iran has capitulated. Ukraine in flames. War may be over, but the fight goes on. This is the slogan of the doomed soldiers. The remnants of the Ukrainian military are still willing to put up a fight. From the beginning of our occupation of the south and east of the country, resistance was fierce, though all of Ukraine was to eventually fall to our forces. The government never fully surrendered, and despite the end of the war and the fall of Germany, resistance only seems to grow. What has thus far been sporadic, unorganized resistance has now coalesced into a single central organization, albeit still operating in separate cells in the decentralized manner of the Ukrainian Union of People's Resistance, or the USNS, vows to strike against Russian occupiers as long as they can draw breath. It seems the USNS is composed of a variety of groups, both nationalist, socialist, and merely anti-Russian. Many of them are based around the remnants of units of the Ukrainian army, but some are built around pre-war terrorist organizations such as the Ukrainian Revolutionary Liberation Army, or the URVA, and the Armed Forces of the League of the Ukrainian Nationalists, the ZSLUN. For now, these partisans have been waging a relentless bandit war from the forests of western Ukraine, where they seem to have broad support from the villages. One more fight, we add resistance in Ukraine, which gives us weekly manpower minus 350, minus 15% stability, minus 20% war support, compliance growth speed minus 5%. And then of these three different territories, we get resistance target plus 30%, resistance growth speed plus 25%, daily compliance gain minus 0.5%, and population minus 50%. And then it activates mission USNS activity, and we enables the citizen finish the organized resistance in all these territories, and all of Ukraine gets plus 50 resistance, minus 10% compliance. One more fight. So we can start. Take you guys. Actually. Alright. Yeah. Start moving these divisions around. Alright. I'm trying to think. Let's see. The rebirth of Russia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia can all be cored with the rebirth of Russia. So let's see. I'm sorry. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So we can get Belarus. We can do the anti-international pact, so we can have Albania, the Nordic Federation. They can all join us. The Masters of the North. And then we can do Extinguish the Flames. Or Curtain Across Europe. We'll probably do Extinguishing the Flames. Invade Poland. I'd hate to just lose this just to lose it, so that's why I haven't chose it yet. I will say, Navy-wise, this is their big fleet that I took. And then I don't want as many submarines. I haven't focused on my Navy at all. I still have, like, miserable boats, which is shame on me. My Navy just wasn't the deciding factor for a lot of this war, so I think we got a lot of convoys. Oh, we really didn't. Let me see. I don't think I have someone who's better getting them out. Take you, we'll start taking down the resistance in Ukraine. The Entente wants my help, but not right now. Alright, so Ukraine, Belarus, and I think that's all I get. So don't release Ukraine, don't release Belarus, don't release Georgia, Azerbaijan, or Armenia, or Lithuania. Okay, so Poland we're good to release. Or we can assimilate, release a Polish Republic. I wish I could release a Polish kingdom, Once again, Poland's on the verge of being wiped off the map of Europe. Once a powerful player in European geopolitics, the three partitions of Poland in the late 18th century annexed Poland, Lithuania to its three neighbors, and only the German victory against Russia is the first Blitzkrieg restored it, albeit as a shell of its former self. With the capitulation of authorities in Warsaw to Russian troops, we now control the majority of the country, and accordingly, its fate is in our hands. Should we grant Poland its liberty, at least within the bounds of a limited kingdom over the last century? Of course, once we've taken this step, there's nothing stopping us from imposing a government that favors our interest, or allowing this friendly government to release pan-Slavic dreams of a greater Poland. On the other hand, if our interests demand it, we can follow the example of so many powers before us and haul down the Polish red and white bicolor for good. We gain a claim, but I don't think we can take it over. I could be wrong, and we could actually core it, but I don't think we can. I think we can only core the ones that are shown in our focus tree. So I think I'm going to release them. The Netherlands set up a Dutch Republic. Who's this? Oh. So, Keva. Finland, it didn't say we could take, right? I don't see anything about Finland. Assimilate. Future of the South Caucasus. Finland. Can release the Finnish Republic. But we take this, we take Karelia. Lithuania. Assimilate. Estonia. Assimilate. Grant to Romania. So Romania got that little territory there. And now we get to choose the big ones. South Germany, North Germany, or Prussia. Brandenburg was the center of the gravity of Prussia, and thus the Prussian formed German Empire. For decades, Berlin has bustled with activity, mostly with the politicians and diplomats of the great power, but as of 1943, with bark orders and shouts of soldiers and now enforced quiet under of Russia martial law, at the end of the former German state comes almost inevitably the beginning of a new. A German state based in Berlin would be a powerful contender for a reunification of Germany one day. So some in our government have proposed granting Brandenburg and Berlin to a German statelet based in western cities so that Prussia can never rise again. Others point to the need for a strong Prussian ally to counter our enemies on their borders and claim with our military supremacy over Europe. Prussia would never dreams of challenging us again. No doubt, of course, the Prussians could appreciate the irony of a good, long, temporary military occupation. Form a German empire. Wilhelm IV takes over. Prussia becomes a puppet, or release a German republic. Brandenburg was the center of gravity of Prussia, and thus, oh, we just read that. I kind of want to release a Prussian state, but let's restore the German Empire. I really hope that it's like not a German prince that we're putting on the throne. He's the oldest son of Prince Wilhelm and grandson of the famous Wilhelm II. Was mostly associated with pre-war scandals. Oh. Well. So they do this one. I mean, it's cool that they have their own focus tree. Invite everybody to the Moscow Economic Council. What Polish lands do I have? Cow, Lao. Let's see. We take Riga. We can give them Finnish land. Note this will not include states that are Russian claimed or cores. Oh, I think they want us to give up the islands there. No. Poland, got a little bit bigger. Dutch. And German. Oh, my lord. Look at all the things that popped up. You're Reviers in Luxembourg. Let's see, Luxembourg. I guess we just give it to Germany. Reviers. Germany. Sorry, I know this isn't exciting to watch this, but see, Karelia. Assimilate. Posen. Germany has the claim, so I guess we can give it to our Finnish allies. East Prussia. We can make East Prussia. Let's give it to our Germans. Vilnius. Simulate. Upper Silesia. Germany. Wow. Simulate. Simulate. Greenwich, Germany. Austria. Restore Habsburg rule. Grant it to our German. Restore Habsburg rule. Liberate a united Danubian Republic. Restore Habsburg rule over Austria. Or just give it to Germany. I mean, I guess that does solve my problem with all of these countries. See, Republic or the old monarchy. Well, we were allies very many long times ago, so there you go. Karl the First. And they get to keep their old focus tree. Well, kind of. What is this? Where is this? Oh. Simulate. 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 There we go. I think we have a little bit more. Two emperors walk into a czar. As a monarch of Russia, win the Second Weltkrieg and have at least two German, Austrian, Ottoman, or Japanese monarchies in your faction. Tyrol, Austria, EU, Germany, Memel, us, Transcarpathia. Let's take it. Now we're waiting for Danzig. There we go. Well, I don't know how you guys think of this. This is what I've done. So, Very interesting. We pretty much just restored the Reichspakt, but under us. The French Republic declared war on Morocco. Like I said, they get their own focus tree. They get a focus tree. You also get a focus tree, do you not? Christian conservatism, and you'll probably do... you'll cement the church's status. Go down this way. I like it. Yugoslavia is probably like, not the Habsburgs again. The Irish state wished to join the Moscow Accords. With our new position on the world stage, we have a noticeable uptick in diplomatic outreach and ring kissing. Today was no exception. When we welcomed a previous rare delegation from Ireland, their request is simple. Given their feelings of isolation internationally, they wish for us to take them under our military protection. Their position on the edge of the continent makes them somewhat of an unusual fit for our alliance. However, it would be a step in turning our alliance into a global one. The Russian accepts, and they join us. Yeah, we'll take him in. There you go. So it just took forever. Invite them in. Now we can come over here. I know. I want the princely federations. I think Lao is part of it. They're not. Heavy focus up here. Hopefully you guys will start being able to stockpile some stuff. It's weird that we would choose a German monarch. I could understand like an extension, because really, if you think about it, Kaiser Wilhelm II and Nicholas, Tsar Nicholas II, they were both cousins. So really the Russians had kind of they could have made an argument for a claim on the German thrones. For them to put, I guess they would still be quasi-related somehow. Like I couldn't follow the family tree, but they would be very far removed, they'd be cousins of some sort. Commander of the Ukrainian Military District. It's not an enviable job to be the first commander of the recently formed Ukrainian Military District. Within its jurisdiction falls a long list of tasks like eviscerating the Ukrainian resistance movements, maintaining public order, defending Russia's western border, restoring Ukrainian military bases to working order, and conscripting Ukrainian military units. It is likely that this post will draw much ire from the populace should there be too many corpses. Stefan is calm and well connected. Ooh, I don't really want to lose an unorthodox General Shukaro. Who's Shukaro? Yeah, I don't want to lose Stoffen if I can save it, so let's see. We'll do an unorthodox Tux Shukaro. This guy right here. He gave me a cavalry regiment. Someone did say, with my garrison, though, you said this isn't the most optimal anymore. Cavalry, 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 cavalry. I think it's mobile battalions, armored cars. Let's see, suppression 5.1. See, my cavalry has more suppression than armored cars does. They only have 5.1 suppression. They have 5.9. So it'd make more sense to have that with MPs. I think I do have motorized MPs now. Or I was researching motorized MPs. Unit limits exceeded. So we're at 000. So we can't do any more units. Oh, we are over one. Just delete him. You want to demobilize to what? Partial mode? Yeah, that's pretty steep. Oh no, it's not. I was thinking early mode. I was about to say that's really steep. So we'll wait to the very, very end and then we'll click on it. We could solidify control. Just waste some political power. Belarusian resistance marshes and woods proved to be perfect for guerrilla warfare, and we've already saw during our wartime occupation resistance in Belarus is largely directed by Veklo Lastovsky, ultranationalist Green Oak, which has grown beyond its pre-war political fringe. Our intelligence has also identified international backpartisans led by Konstantin Jezvitsio, who may become a greater threat in the long term due to their foreign support. These groups have been trying to coordinate efforts with the Ukrainian resistance as both operate especially strong in the Pinsk marshes. Mazar, Pinsk, and Breslov Gad's partisan activity, which is the same negative debuffs as Ukraine, and Breslov, all of Belarus gains 30 resistance and negative 10 compliance. We'll handle it. We'll try to handle it. July 10th. We'll crank up to 4 times speed again because we're not at war. The nationalist government. The future of the South Caucasus. Once again, Russian rule spans both sides of the Caucasus Mountains, and the great city of Tbilisi has been restored to our grasp. Even the centuries of Kazak's viceroyalty that Russia governed the region, it was never truly peaceful, and it would be naive to assume these mountains and valleys would easily submit. Regardless, a new order has arrived with the tracks of T-34s. General Markin Popov has been appointed as the commander of the newly formed South Caucasus military district tasked with pacification of the region. As military occupation is gradually lifted and civilian administration restored, the populace is awakening to a new reality. Most of the political establishment has been destroyed due to being anti-Russian, and the new administration is largely leveraging the apathetic mood in the region. A number of new federalist parties have arisen to organize political life and lobby for greater autonomy. Turn them into gubernaries. We gain negative 5% stability in Karbog. We gain compliance, negative 15, resistance plus 15. Back these up. We're building a lot of oil refineries right now. Iceland's capitulated. see. Counterintelligence, no. I need someone good at strength and resistance. I guess we'll do you. Try to assist in knocking out some of this Ukrainian resistance. Better armored cars. And maybe if we get to the better levels, they do get better, but I'm not 100% sure. Finish up. Miles. Someone said my Mayos had something I could do, but I didn't see them. We could immediately just jump back into war. The Nanjing national government has to do it. Let's see, rebirth of Russia is what we want to do. And are you already in a faction? No? Oh, they're at war with a major faction. There you go. Campaign of passive resistance across Ukraine. A number of Ukrainian dissidents marched in the streets carrying protest signs and blocking roads, advocating for looser laws, greater freedom for the Ukrainian autonomy, and more advocating restored independence. Use force or ignore it. Accept some of the demands. We gain negative 1% compliance. Use force, gain 8% resistance. Let's try to... Let's just use force. Beat them until they're happy. Yeah, we're waiting for this. Where's Bessarabia? Oh, yeah, I've already told him I didn't want it, so. The Romanians were our best allies during this. Kind of. Kind of is a key point there. The Russians almost have no manpower. Ballistic computers. Oh, run out of a lot of mill factories. Corellia is now a core. Well, that's very nice. That's very fast. The Kharkov trials. Despite the number of officials from the now defunct Ukrainian government who fled or are in hiding, we managed to capture and hold in custody several high-ranking Ukrainian statesmen during the war against Germany. Those still remaining shall be brought to justice eventually, but for now, specially arranged trials meant to dampen the USNS morale and bolster our support in the Ukrainian regions are now taking place. Taking place at the Opera Theater in Kharkov. There are many accused high-ranking politicians such as Opanas Fedonko, Veshelas Prokopovich, as well as military high command personnel such as Roman Deshkev and Petro Deshchenko. The prosecutor levied charge of anti-Russian activity and crimes against peace. Unfortunately, the trial hasn't seemed to live up to its purpose. The accused skillfully defended themselves from the accusations, and evidence against the Republican officials had failed to prove anything meaningful. In comparison to Skorpedinsky's regime, they seem to at least have genuine popular support in Ukraine, and coverage of the trial has been somewhat sympathetic to them. Without more specific details, the accusations that they plotted with foreign powers against the Ukrainian people have mostly fallen flat. The case now seems unsalvageable, and execution of the accused seems that it will only lead to martyrdom and further resistance. Trying to censor information about the trial may be our best bet, as long as the news doesn't break, of course. Be lenient. Make an example out of them. We gain stability, but we lose 3% resistance, or we lose political power and gain compliance. I'd rather gain the compliance, to be honest with you. I'm cutting through resistance pretty quickly. And to be honest, especially for Ukraine, we're going to go to martial law. Just for them. They're the special child. And we can do the Baltic question. Future of Russia's Baltic allies. Our relationship with our Baltic allies have always been a rocky one. The alliance between our two states are largely a pragmatic one aimed at the Germans, and they had held a great deal of independence up until this point. With the German threat eradicated, perhaps it's time that we make clear that the privileged relationship was temporary and exert more control over our Baltic allies. Of course, send an ultimatum, and Latvia gets the ultimatum. And they accept. They become an autonomous puppet. We literally made a deal that we wouldn't ask for Bessarabia. Do we backstab? No. Do military recon. Really want to do better MPs, actually. Is that a buildable thing? Yes. The Papal States was taken over. I'm not looking on equipment right now. Not too shabby. Looks like the war in Asia is kicking off. Sorry, I had to take a drink of my drink there. Campaign of passes resistance across Ukraine. Oh, they do it again. Lose more compliance, but political power, or just lose the compliance outright. Oh, we'll just do the political power. We got enough of it sitting there. Production cost. My airplanes. See, there's the Baltic questions. We can rebuild the Baltic Guminaris. Sure. And let's do Ukraine. Then we can do the Anti-International Pact, which grants defense bonus, and we receive we can rally the Entente with that one. But let's do the trying to fix Ukraine here.
Готов выдвигаться.
The bad problems with it moving is we're having to watch it. We'll demobilize our economy. I will leave it up to you guys. We can ask for Bessarabia, but really I don't think it's worth it. And And now we can do the improved course. See more breakthrough. Production efficiency gain. No, we'll just lose speed. My medium tanks are not fast to begin with. Better anti-tank. From men of war to men of peace. After the wars of 1914 and 1920, many soldiers were left with nothing, even if they still had a home to return to. Many lives were permanently scarred, as these young men knew nothing but war. Without any prospects of a normal civilian life and profession, many of them turned to revolutionary or ultranationalist movements. Wasn't the first SZRS rally in 1922 born out of this resentment, as Alexander Antonov, the folk hero of the Tambov Whites, rose to the podium and accused the ruling parties of ignoring the plight of the veterans and the men who had given their all yet received nothing in return. There is a simple reason why this was so often the case: money. Some men are permanently unable to work, others lack education or need long-term medical aid against ills like the morphine addiction developed during the war from painkillers. Naturally, veteran organizations are the first ones to lobby for their spending, and the nationalists see it as an easy way to score political points. Basic benefits for invalid widows. The state will arrange employment for all veterans. Or this must be the beginning of a comprehensive pension system. We'll do that. Lose 100 political power, gain 10% stability, and 5% paternal autocracy popularity. The fall of Cairo. Oh, yeah, the Commune of France. Personal government of Germany's joined the Entente. Probably could take 20 off of them. The Ottoman state declared war on Kingdom of Egypt. The Mountain War. Has there been any mountain range in history that's demanded more Russian blood than the Great Caucasus? Our sons of blood on both sides of the mountains to be against Ingushetians, Chechens, Georgians, Azeris. Rugged mountain terrain giving resistant troops the perfect land to wage their hopeless but tenacious war from. The Russian military can maintain an iron grip over the roads and cities, but the guerrillas operating far from the mountains will always disappear into land before they can be destroyed. Only a slow, tiresome, and bloody fight remains. Clear them out slowly and methodically, or focus more on the sympathies of the people. We lose 4% stability and 55,000 manpower. We'll just do that. Clear them out. And let's get better Marines. Syria capitulated. Looks like the Cairo Pact will fall to communism. United States of America joins the Entente. And the Great Pacific War, so Japan and America are at war again. Jaws capitulated. Yeah, I know we're not at less than 30 resistance. 87. Ooh. The Brotherhood of Belarus. Compliance. Do all of those. We gain 15% compliance. Civilian factories. There's the fall of Algiers. Looks like the Communards finished the revolution. So the French Republic is losing. Jerusalem states capitulate. This protection cost. We'll get more activities again. finished. Remember that was Silencia. Up the first few Polish divisions, first few Austrian divisions, and the first few German divisions have came back out. Administrative Division of Ukraine. A number of proposals have been made for the civilian rule in Ukraine, ranging from Ukraine existing as an autonomous state within Russia to its partitioning to simply annexing all of Ukraine as gubernaries like any other part of Russia. While some fossils politics still refuse to acknowledge Ukrainian nationhood, it is impossible to ignore the Ukrainians have been separated from us for over 2 decades, and during this time, so-called Little Russia has grown to see itself as increasingly separate. The direct reunification of the late imperial area saw little progress. In fact, it galvanized the opposition, but we must not repeat the folly of Emperor Alexander I and his autonomies. Ukraine must be on a short lease, and concessions must be limited to cultural ones, not political ones. Gain 15% base stability. All of Ukraine gains negative 40% compliance, 50% resistance, and resistance targets plus 40% while under occupation of the Russian Empire for 3,650 days. Ukrainian resistance will spread faster. How do they want me to fight that? Just keep trying.
Внимание!
I think that's the state they're in, yeah. Lebanon capitulated. I don't know why they joined the fight anyway.
Я готов!
The Chongquan federal government declared war on the nationalist government. Alright, we're getting rid of these guys. This first one I think we'll get rid of. Send you an attaché. Probably could send you some I can only send one, so it really wouldn't be worth it. Alright, brotherhood with Belarus, recovering at northwestern gubernaries. The land of the White Russians, Belarus is the heartland of Slavic tribes, populated by them from time immemorial. The Russian army has freed our kin there from under the Prussian boot, though not everyone seems grateful. It's Belarus where Germanic propaganda went the furthest, even to Latinize their language to sever them from their roots. Now the order has been restored, and we must make a long-term decision on how the Belarusian lands will be governed. Collaborator groups like Stanislaw Balochkovets Union of Liberation of Belarus, which has emerged as the chief pro-Russian organization in the country during the war, are pushing for establishment of a Belarusian autonomy, though ultimately we can choose to simply assimilate the Belarusian gubernaries into Russia like any other Russian gubernaries. Integrate them directly, we lose 7.5% stability, and compliance slows down negative 20%, and resistance up 40% in Belarus. And then once we get 60, adds the Twilight Struggle. Oh. Well, I didn't want the Twilight Struggle. Did I? That's on here somewhere, I know. I read it. This is what we need right here. German defeated the Churchill's Iron Curtain speech. Germany's defeated the hand of the combined French-Russian army 6 months ago has sent shockwaves across the world, and it has become apparent that the Second Weltkrieg has changed the face of Europe for years to come. The continent has been divided between the Third International and the Russian bloc, both of which wield enormous forces and have a bone to pick with the other side, and yet neither of them have chosen to strike first, leaving the continent split and twined. Petrograd University in Russia has had the honor of hosting Sir Winston Churchill, a noted British statesman, writer, and former First Lord of the Admiralty of Britain, speaking to the attendant students. Uh, sorry. Churchill first made sure to note the great sacrifices which the Russian nation had made during the Second Weltkrieg and assured that the British Empire and Russia shall always be natural allies in this new world order. The politician described Europe as a continent divided between the two fundamentally different forces, one of liberty and one of pitiless terror, one of good and one of evil, and that an iron curtain divides them. He expressed his dismay that so much of Europe's heritage and famous cities now lie in the French sphere, and hoped that the Russian and Commonwealth can unite against the revolutionary threat. But was not to first to or but Churchill was not the first to express this idea. The striking imagery of his speech has set a new checkpoint in history. Europe, and with it the world, has been divided into a frozen conflict, one of ideological strife rather than power blocks. It may only be solved via subversion, armed race, and diplomacy, or a conflict far more destructive than the Second Weltkrieg. We gain 5% stability. We get the Twilight Struggle, which gives us negative 10% war support, guarantee cost minus 25%, max volunteer force plus 2%, justify war goal time plus 50%, operative slots plus 2, and then that we do this one, I guess. Actually, I still think we can do this one. Yeah, we can. So it just gave us that. Oh, I forgot we could do this one as well if we need to. We do this one, and this one. Let's do the partisan war first, or try to get these partisans down. It's definitely just ate through all of my political power that I had been saving. Chile has capitulated. We will declare war on the Ottomans here at some point. There's a little bit of recruitable population factor, but that'll be okay. See, convoys, just make them cheaper. Rebuild the Belarusian gubernaries. Pretty much that means governorates. They're like a governor area. We're most definitely getting rid of them as quick as we can. It's mostly all going down. Let me see. Garrison. Oh yeah, I'd be switching you out with motorized MP. I don't see it. Right here. You'll bring up suppression by just a little bit. How many motorcycles do I have? 3,000. Now let me look at mobile battalions. Now the suppression is still not better. Now the suppression's 109. Alright, well I tried to build the armored cars thinking that they would give us better suppression, but I don't believe they will, so... Alright, I think we do need to build a lot of planes. Protest against the Frontiers War. Russian newspapers generally avoided talking about fightings going on in rural Ukraine and Belarus, often just referring to the vague situation at the frontier. However, at this point, it's impossible not to notice as hundreds of thousands of men are involved in this peacekeeping across Ukraine, Belarus, and other liberated territories. Despite the low intensity, there is a constant stream of wooden caskets coming back to the cemeteries in Russia. There were major protests today, especially in regions where many men are still mobilized, arranged by both left-wing pacifists, Christian pacifists, and simply family members of the fallen soldiers. They demand more transparency from the military and a swift solution to the conflict, stopping the constant bleeding of young Russia. Not like we can do much or increase censorship. We can't do anything about it. Lose 5% war support. All right. Well, with that, I think we have started off in an incredibly good spot. We're going to actually let the partisan war finish off here. Position of the Ukrainian Belarusian language. The Ukrainian and Belarusian language have seen a considerable increase in usage ever since they became independent states. At this point, Russia has become the secondary language in these autonomies. Naturally, they will be reversed at least somewhat, with Russian once again becoming more relevant in the day-to-day lives of Ukrainians and Belarusians. However, in the terms of actual governance, this question has become rather important. Perhaps we should consider making these languages co-official in their respective homelands, or to encourage the day-to-day use of Russia, make Russia the sole official language. Russia will always be the primary language, or allow their local, gain 2 compliance but lose 150 political power, gain 100 political power, 5 stability, lose 20 compliance, and gain 40 resistance. We'll just do that. So we are going to start this counterinsurgency, and we can start doing the pacification campaigns. Are any of you good at... No. Let's choose her with nothing. You're not resistance. Keep coming over here and doing it. Called Kunming. I don't want to do the Tsar and his people. Now we're getting 183%, which gives us negative 18 resistance in these territories. And we can start doing the pacification campaigns, which are right here. We lose 500 weekly manpower. I'm not worried about this one. We'll lose 0.05 political power gain for 40 days, lose 500 manpower for 40 days, and consumer good factor of 50. We gain command power, and then we get negative 10% resistance and plus 5% compliance. Let's definitely do it in Ukraine. We can do it in Minsk. We can do it there. We can do it in there as well. The reason I did it over here is try to quicken the ability to core these territories. But with that, I'm going to end the episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed a lot of things. This has been very exciting. We've got our own puppet Germany, or you've got our own puppet Austria, Poland, Netherlands, Finland. All of these guys are our allies down here in the south. And yeah, next time we're coming up, we're going to fight the Ottomans. We will try to get I think it's like 6,000 planes or something like that. Yeah, deployed at least 6,000 aircrafts and need 40 projection, which we can get via this one. No, we lose it. This one. We can get it. We can gain it somehow. This one as well. So, yeah, that's how this is going to work out for us. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.